Lesson 6, timing. Now, this is where things like fasting and when should I eat, how many times a day should I eat, those kind of questions come in. So let's see if we can answer some of them. So above all, or below all, timing, the top of the pyramid. Timing is still important, but not more important than your food quality, your macros, calorie balance, or consistently doing the things. Okay, so timing is important. It does need to be factored in. It's just not more important than anything else. So planning beats guessing. So meal timing, structure creates stability. Now, how often you eat affects how you feel. So timing won't make or break results, but it can make it easier. A consistent meal rhythm improves hunger control, blood sugar balance, your energy and recovery, and decision making. The no panic snacking. You know where your next meal is going to come from, so you don't have that food anxiety that you have to react to. Most people do best with 3 to 5 eating windows per day, spread out about every 3 to 4 hours. So what that would look like again, there is no perfect. This is just an example. Breakfast is at 6 a.m. Let's say you woke up at like 5:30. Snack 1, 9 a.m. Lunch, noon. Snack 2, 3 p.m. Dinner, 6. Boom, in bed and asleep by 9. Okay, most people's lives doesn't line up like that, but if it does, that's a good way to plan it. Does it need to be that precise? Absolutely not. This is just how it would. Your body adapts to what you do consistently. You don't need perfect timing. You need a repeatable rhythm. Okay, you don't need to eat every 3 to 4 hours. Your body will adapt to whatever you do, whether it's one meal or 4. Okay, so that one meal a day, or 8 meals a day, whatever you're doing, after you do it for 3 days to about a week, your body starts to get used to it and knows when to expect the food. It's when it's random and all over the place that you kind of start to have struggles when it comes to timing. What matters is that you eat enough, you eat consistently, and you stick to a routine that fits your life. The best plan is the one you can repeat and adjust when life changes. I've noticed for myself about every 3 months, either schedule changes or something changes, and my nutrition schedule has to adjust a little bit. So every 3 months or so, I change something up in the way I time my food. So make a plan to free your mind. This is huge because structure isn't restriction, it's freedom. So your body wants to know when food is coming and will it support your goal. If you have those two things down, that's how you feel in control. Having a plan isn't strict, it's strategic. So we're going to try to start each week or each day with a plan. It removes food anxiety, which is when you're reactive to your environment and you're just going for the simplest, quickest thing, or comforting if you're in a bad mood. It helps with cravings a lot because then you're not thinking about food all day. And it helps a lot with decision fatigue. Now, you have to make 10,000 different decisions on any given day. Now, most of those decisions typically don't serve you in terms of moving you towards your goals. So when it comes to food, let's take out the friction of that and put in a plan so you don't have to think or make another choice. You already did it. It's done. You can think about it once a week and move on. That mental freedom that you get from it, once you get in the routine, it's hard to build a new routine, but once you get in that mental freedom you get is incredible because then you don't have to think about it. You know when the food's coming, so even if you start to get hungry, you're in control. And then also, you know that food supports your goal, so you even feel good about the food that's coming up. So you want to know what you'll eat, know when you're going to eat, and always have a backup because life's going to happen. Something's going to happen and you're going to have to act on the fly. That's guaranteed. What should I eat around my workout? So fuel comes from what you do consistently, not just one meal. If you eat enough daily, you don't need extra food just for training. Your body runs on what you ate yesterday, not 30 minutes ago. Unless you train multiple times a day or go 60 plus minutes for a hard intensity, you don't need to adjust anything. And even then, if you were doing that stuff, it's as little as 20 to 50 extra carbs for those extra efforts. Now, we as in humans, including myself, have a really hard time separating intensity from overall work. Now, you can push yourself really, really hard for 10 minutes and be on the ground in a puddle of sweat, wondering what you just did. And you think that effort, the amount of work you put behind that is what leads to higher calorie burn. In a sense, it does. But again, if we go back to the lesson on calories, that 5% might be going up to like 6 or 7%. It's not going to add a ton of extra calories for you. So we don't want to overconsume because we thought we worked harder today than the day before, unless you're going out for like a 3-hour hike or run or something much more intense than an hour, 90-minute long workout. So a good rule of thumb is eat a meal within 3 hours of your workout. or you can have a light snack within 30 minutes before or after. That typically just has food in your stomach and gets rid of the hunger hormones that come from your stomach, so something's in there digesting, and you just don't feel empty. Now, another feeling people have is that lightheaded, lethargic feeling, which could do with blood sugar, okay? Especially if you do have blood sugar problems. Sipping electrolytes can help you feel less hungry or shaky. If you're eating consistently, it's usually not low blood sugar, okay? A big thing that happens with sodium intake, especially if you're trying to eat healthy or eat more whole foods, is that sodium intake drops. And so salt has direct correlations to your blood volume and your blood pressure, your hydration. And so if you're not getting enough salt in, your blood pressure actually goes down. And that's where a lot of the shaky, dizzy feeling comes in. Now, some people do have low blood sugar, but in most cases, it's actually an electrolyte balance problem, not a blood sugar problem. Again, I'm not a doctor. This is all just stuff I've experienced and helped people with for a very long time. So hunger is a signal. Hunger is not an emergency. Most people feel hungrier when they eat processed foods because they're not as filling, they're hyperpalatable, they make you want to keep coming back for more. They drink calories, shakes, sodas, creamers, they go right through you. Their calories just going straight into you. They lack protein, fiber, or salt in meals, or they had poor sleep quality. Because a big thing with hunger and cravings is that when you have poor sleep quality, your hunger hormones go up. You're seeking comfort because you're more uncomfortable because you didn't sleep well, and food is a really quick comfort. And so that's a revolving cycle right there. But hunger is just a signal. Hunger does not mean you are starving. Okay? Feeling hungry is normal, especially when you're trying to lose fat because you are eating less calories than your current body size needs to maintain its weight. So that's where low starch veggies save the day. And it does not mean you're starving or broken. Okay? It does not mean you are starving or broken just because you are hungry. It's just a signal. You don't eat every time you're hungry, just like you don't sleep every time you're tired. It's a signal. It's telling you something. And if you have a plan, you're like, oh, I'm going to eat in 30 minutes. I'll be okay. And then boom, it's out of your mind. So timing recapped. How often you eat affects how you feel. You don't need perfect timing, but you do need a repeatable rhythm. And structure isn't restriction. It gives you freedom. Fuel for your workouts come from what you do consistently, not just one meal. And hunger does not mean you are starving. Okay, that's the timing recap. So before we move on, what is one thing you could change that would probably improve the timing with your food? And that could be stuff around your workout. That could be before bed. That could just be separating your meals out actually instead of just reacting. But what's something that you could change based on that information that would help improve your timing and make just your overall diet a lot easier? Leave that in the comments. And then moving on, we are done with the nutrition hierarchy. Lesson 7 is it's not just about food. Okay, so we're going to see how this all ties together. I'll see you there.